Hi guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution Tarot, and I'm here today to bring you a monthly message for the sign of Pisces for December 2021. For all my Pisces, I apologize that you guys are last but not least. This message is not necessarily for December. It's just whatever messages come through. So take it how it resonates for you. Disregard the rest and know that time is fluid. So we may be picking up on a situation that you're going through or encountering now, something from the past, something past life even, or something that hasn't happened yet. It's just an energy checkup, like Spirit saying, hey, that's what we want to tell you. So take it how it feels for you. For all my subscribers as well, I love you, love you, love you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for being here. You guys mean the world to me. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you'd like to see more, please hit subscribe. I'd love to have you along this journey with me. So I'm going to get into some spiritual messages first today with the Shaman's Oracle on messages Spirit like us to know, and then we'll use the Wildwood Tarot and end off with the Wisdom of the Tree Oracle today. So I'm going to take a moment to call in Spirit. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to join us to guide, guard, bless, and protect myself, this reading, and any of you who asked for it. Archangel Metatron and Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel are also like, well, we're here. So they're joining us as well. I'm going to ask any of my team of light as well as your spirit guides that would be here for the highest good of the entire collective to join us. I'm going to ask them to guide, guard, bless, and protect myself, this reading, and any of you who would ask for it, to use me as the clearest channel possible, delivering messages that are only for the highest good of all of you, but most getting the farthest reaching. Alright, so I'm going to move just into the messages because I feel like I'm jumbling whatever intro. So, guys, I also just want to say here, I got the Ancestor of Exile. I was going to say, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can now at Grassroots Evolution _Tarot. Sorry, Grassroots _Evolution _Tarot. It's in the description box, but just in case you are over there on Instagram, I have been putting out some content over there as well. Mostly channeled messages and pictures and things like that. So let's see what we have here. Can you tell me two more cards discussing the Ancestor of Exile? Thank you. One more, please. Thank you. So the card that fell out first is the Shaman of Song and the Ancestor of Boundaries. They both came out in the reverse. So the bottom of the deck is Shaman of Reflections. I feel like if the exile part I heard reconciles, but if that resonates with you, so let's check out I opened right up to it. Check out this Ancestor of Exile and this beautiful rhinoceros. So if I trigger you throughout this as well, take it, okay? Take it with this empowered vulnerability. What did it make you feel? How, and do you feel like it was triggered to something? And in this moment, this is opening space for healing because we're recognizing where our suffering is coming from. And this is a point where we really can move on and change it. So I think that this Ancestor of Boundaries, this is what you got to be in your own world, my friends. You have to set these boundaries with people. So I do feel like for some of you, you know what this is because this is other people you have put in exile for behaviors in the past. This could also be, you feeling like you're in exile and having to go, okay, well, what's going on? I almost feel like, and again, this could be energy that you're dealing with as well, and energy is fluid, so it's just energy that Spirit wants you to be aware of. I heard here with this boundaries and the Shaman a song that somebody just wouldn't listen to. Somebody wasn't heard. They didn't feel like they were heard. So with this song, it's like it doesn't matter how much you used your voice, how much you spoke and you spoke and you spoke. Someone else just didn't understand these boundaries, or they just didn't care because they didn't suit their needs. So there is a lot of healing in the reflection, and here we see a lot of light in this heart, because this is what we need to do, is purify the heart. And I'm going to read to you this message because I feel like this is a really powerful image, and this being the first card that came out, it's the only card that showed themselves. The other three, when they fell over like this. This hand on the back. I have mentioned this in another reading, I'm not sure which one it was, but it reminds me of Arlo's mark from The Good Dinosaur. If you guys have seen it, if you got kids, you might have. But, Arlo needed to make his mark to put his handprint up on to say, hey, I did it. And I feel like for many of you, that's what it may need, is for you to just remove yourself from some energy that's not listening to you. This rhinoceros energy as well, if any of you guys, the Jumanji, the first one with the rock in it, The rhinoceroses are pretty mean. I heard boar too. So I feel like for some of you that may resonate. You'll know, I think, if you... Okay, so I'm just going to read this. It says, I am the ancestor of exile. I have borne witness to many kinds of separation and have watched the suffering of those who have driven away from their home or country. Yet there is a deeper exile still, an exile from the self, and I stand ready to help lost people find their way back to their place of belonging. Draw strength from where you need reconnection and support in times of loneliness. The ancestor of exile. Exile does not have to be simply a state of being. For example, isolation from a community, a tribe, a place of work, or even a family. Exile can extend to one's sense of self, perhaps denoting a loss of self-worth, self-understanding, and self-love. The ancestor of exile comes to help us when we feel detached from ourselves or from any aspect of our lives, enabling us to reconnect with the course of our life's journey. The sharp spike of emotional solitude is painful and damaging, especially when the wound is left unattended. The ancestor of exile will restore our sense of wholeness. And this talks about reconnection. I keep wanting to say reconciliation. So for some of you, that could be what happens, but for most of you, there's return, restoration to family or nation, strength in the time of loss, a new direction or home. A lot of this is return, but reconciliation takes two. And this could be that there's a return, but I feel like what really needs to happen with this shaman of song and this reflections is that both need to see where, if you've walked away or there's a place where, someone was put in exile because of, I heard their anger towards you, and I was straight away to this. When this is in reverse as well, like I said, I felt like somebody wasn't, crossing your boundaries. Well, in order for this to come back together and reconciliation to happen, chilly, it has to be where somebody else as well looked into this and said, you know what, I heard emotionally abused. You may be realizing as well that this behavior is emotional abuse. If this has been you in the past, now is the time where I feel like this is the place where we can address it and move forward and say, how do I fix this? Because I don't want to do this again now, knowing what it is. But if whoever you're dealing with isn't willing to take some accountability as well and to try and work on things, then I feel like the exile is the place to be. And it could be a real place of solace too, and solitude. It doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing. So take that how it resonates for you, but I do feel like they're like, you know what, read a little bit of shaman and reflection, because I think that that's important as well. They took me right back to, I saw the rhino again. Reflections. I am the shaman of reflections. I offer you who call upon me the opportunity to see beyond your mirror image and to recognize within yourself the truths that you may never have perceived. I challenge those who believe that there is only one pathway to follow. In the mystery of the mirror, I show each individual his or true self. And that's wonderful too, because again, this is looking back, as well as when we're reflecting in that mirror, this is being truthful and honest with ourselves in, what is the song we want to sing, what is the experience we want to be letting out into the world. So I'm going to move on to the Wildwood Tarot right now and see what messages we have. I heard deluge, or someone's deluding themselves as well, or there's that could have been said to you as well, that you're kind of, the Two of Bows came out, and then right on top of Shaman of Song we have the Five of Arrows and Frustration, which here makes sense as well, because for some of you, you could be experiencing writer's block, like you're trying to explain this, it's just not coming through. Some of you could be magicians and trying to figure out how to put this feeling or this emotion into words. For many of you too, when it's trying to write it out into a song, many of you could be thinking maybe a letter. But I think that for some of you guys, if it's really difficult for you to express yourself and your whatnot, record yourself on the phone. I do feel like, you could delete it, but I think it might be important for you to watch it and to trigger yourself, honestly. To watch that again and go, okay, well, why is this bothering me? Because this is a place where within ourselves we can figure out kind of narrow it down a bit to what it is that it is being held on to. For some of us, it's inner child wounding, but this is choosing to walk through the flames, to be the flame bearer. I mean, this guy is not afraid of fire. He's standing on the only grass on the mountain on the highest peak, and there's smoke all around him. Can't look down. You have two choices to make. Which choice do you make? And I think that they show me boundaries right here again. So this is where I feel like as well, it's if we've been experiencing someone or certain pain, or if we've been doing things and then we've set some distance between this stuff, and some of us have voiced our concerns. Maybe we're talking, and again, this is with frustration because these arrows are hitting a blank wall. Nothing I said was heard. And you say, you know what? Not that way. That's not what that was like. Let's keep walking and see what else it looks like. They want me to see the bottom of this deck, which is the Woodward in reverse. And I feel like this is where, for some of you, what I heard is the word control. I always see that Woodward as controlling. I know that he's not necessarily. It's in solidarity and autonomy and being true to yourself. However, in the reverse like that, I feel like this is someone else, right? Like whoever is the boundary crosser. You have the mirror here, and here's this mirror of reflection. And then you have the ancestor in the reverse. I feel the only reason this is in the reverse is to show you these two cards together. The decision and the choice is yours is what I heard. One, I think it's just so interesting because there's so many similarities yet differences, and this card really is night and day. And two different choices, and the flip side of everything, and the mirror image of everything. For some of you, I do feel like, Pisces, you're dealing with someone or a group of people or a situation where you're being shown a spiritual mirror. You're being shown, yourself in other people, or there's situations where maybe you never understood something in the past, and it's coming to a place now where you're like, no, you know what, I could see maybe why, this had to happen. Or not always necessarily seeing, I feel like there's issues about boundaries too, is understanding, where boundaries were crossed, because if we've never put our boundaries up, we may not understand that those were even boundaries or why they were important. But I feel like now is again this point where you get to make this decision. And here's this action point. Here's the action, and this is in the reverse, the more theological or theory-based ideal, what you would like. Maybe it's because we need to make a choice, but ideologically we're not completely sure right now where we stand. This mirror is important as well because it does represent, I want to say Scorpio, but it's death too. This is not Scorpio on the deck. That is transformation. But you have the Nine of Stones with tradition here as well. And I feel like this is important because this is honoring his mental stillness. There is no fear that this snake is going to bite him. He is very connected with the wisdom of his ancestors. Very in tune with the rhythm. And I feel like for many of you, this is a shaman. The shaman of reflections. It may be that you need to do it the traditional way of sort of having a shamanic healing by doing a vision. Like meditation, but setting yourself up. Oh, my ears are going crazy right now, like it just pressure and ringing. But setting yourself up with them around you, like your crystals, salts, anything. You could light some sage, some incense. I heard some feathers. Create a sacred space, And if you have a question or something that you would like to know, be prepared to ask this. But you're going to want to also make sure that you are setting intentions and verbalizing that you want, you know, these guidance or these guides to be for your highest good, and to be protected throughout these. So I think it's important to light a candle as well. I usually have one going, and to kind of clear your space beforehand, light some sage, Palo Santo, even imagine light space in your mind. And a lot of times too, if we get too specific about what we're looking for, we may be eluded. What I find, and what I'm hearing even from Spirit, them saying is, you know what you need to do is up to you really, but one thing that I find helpful is just to go in with a understanding of Spirit. What do I need to know right now for my highest good? What messages do you have for me? And be really open to interpretation, to know that it's okay. So many of you, I'm being reminded to actually tell you first to go on, you know, you can do on YouTube. Sandra Ingerman has a book as well called Awakening to the Spirit World. Funny, I remembered that. It's with someone else, but it's really wonderful and has a disc on it with some shamanic journeying as well. So if you wanted to look her up even, or, you know, just different shamanic meditations, walk through that. Be really, really open to the messages you get when you get up. If you know, write down what you can. What did you see? What did you feel? Did anybody say anything? And to know that there's a real power in this space. I think it is really important, they said afterwards, to thank your guides, and that when you come back, to clear the space, but to ring the bells to make sure that you're back in this plane fully. So you may also want to ground yourself a lot. I brought in this black obsidian. It's absolutely gorgeous piece, and this is some of these things that we can use. Also, for Christmas, I got this gorgeous piece of smoky quartz as well for my mom and my stepdad. So thank you for watching JJ too. But this is gorgeous, and I think that it's just going to be really important because you're going to be moving pretty quickly through a lot of things, and just I heard digesting change as well. So I'm going to pull one more card before we move on with some suggestions, please. This, to me, this 5, this ancestor message, it is, I think it's Imbolc, which is February 1st, right? That sky, that color. Coming February, you know, there's a whole lot of, I heard new reality that a lot of us are going to be facing. So 3, 4, 5, 4 cards count. 2 that came out, I'm going to flip them because they looked in reverse, but I think it's just how they fell, is the 8 of Stones. We've worked and perfected something with the Page. Some of you guys, I feel like this is, I heard proposal. Okay, for some of you guys, you may be wanting to make it official that, you know, you've really been working on things and it's really time to take like a next step forward. For others of you, and this is where that reconciliation, if we are going to reconcile, we need to know that someone else really has put the work in, right? That it wasn't all just one-sided. You know, healing does really require two. So we have the 9 of bows here with respect, and the 6 of arrows. So very important too. They want to remind me that there could be a lot of fire here. You may have fire in your chart. You may be dealing with a fire sign. I don't like to say so much on signs because we all embody so many different things, and we need to be in touch with that fire energy to be in tune with you know, who we really are on a creative level, on a waking level. What brings us passion? What do we enjoy? What puts the fire in the belly, baby, right? We want to be attached. You know, for some of you, I heard control. Like for some of you guys, like this situation is you showing yourself respect and really choosing to forge the fire. Leave the person remaining in exile because they didn't do their shit, they didn't heal their shit, and it is really time for you just to really sail off into the moonlit night without a regret in the world, and just a clear conscience that you have done everything you could do to make this person hear you, and they just didn't want to, or they chose not to. Like, there's a point, too, where I watched 90 Day Fiance, and where we're watching, I don't remember their names, but the one girl, she speaks English, and her boyfriend on there, he doesn't want to speak Spanish. He doesn't want to learn, but he wants her to go to the United States, but won't learn her language. And this is what I feel like this reminds me of. Like, well, why? Why would I learn everything if you're not willing to do that? Right? Why would I do that? As well as she explains too that there's she has so many communication barriers because he won't learn it either. It's just really difficult because you're always thinking about, how you're going to say something rather than being able to actually truly express your emotion. So I think I heard Forge and Fire as well. This Two of Bows, you think about it, he started out here where he made his decision to move forward. And he's ended off with, you know what, I'm still here, I'm still standing, I forged the fire. And throughout this, at the Two, he doesn't have any antlers. He's grown antlers because he's become wise and one with the forest. So the bottom here is the Eight of Bows with hearth fire. Okay, and this is happiness within our heart, family. Oh, underneath there was the Lovers, could be Gemini, but you also have the King of Adders here, King of Bows with Adder. There's a lot of clearance, I feel like, and this fire is important too. That, burn ceremony I heard, but just releasing. So whatever it is that you've had to release, whatever past toxic environment, whatever, weighs heavy on you, write it out. And you may just want to put them in a big outside fire and watch that shit burn up, I feel like as well, through going into the next year, it might be just really important to clear yourself, because I did see clearance here with the Seven of Bows, the Seven of Wands, clearing ourselves of these old narratives and these things that no longer make sense to us. They're no longer our truth. And, moving forward, because we've learned, right? And we know that we are respected, we are worthy of our own respect, we are worthy as well as that we've made the changes in our world, we've been able to grow, right? Because we could see that we were holding on to this idea or this aspect of life that no longer really worked, right? No longer fit, didn't resonate anymore, and we had the balls to change it. Good for you. Good for you. Because you're sailing off and you've perfected a skill, which is life-changing. And this could be Gemini in your world, but this could also be a very romantic lover. Like I said, that the changes were made, somebody's proposing, that there is marriage in the future, but also very, very strong soulmate connection. So again, if reconciliation is what if something that you want, just make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, I heard, and that you're doing it for you, and that this person is worthy, or is also, they've done their work. So you have Hawthorn and Hornbeam. Let's see what messages we get here for Hawthorn. That's the wrong book. That's the wrong book. So, Hawthorn.
Mommy, this is so...
Alright, I'm back. So I'm going to read to you Hawthorn first. And it says, magic. Treat me with caution and give me respect, because I am an ancient and powerful tree. My thorns are sharp to give me protection, and whenever I grow is said to mark the entrance to the underground realm of the fairies. The world is full of miracles if you have eyes to see them. Connect with the magic of your own senses and the power of nature. Rejoice as each new season arrives, savoring it for everything it can offer. And that's absolutely beautiful here too, with the 5 sacred things, this beautiful star. And it says it is native to Northern Europe, Western Asia, Northwest Africa. It's thorny, bears edible fruit and edible berries, long-lived, grows to about 15 meters tall. and that it has been used as an herbal remedy to balance blood pressure and strengthen the heart. Pretty interesting shit, man. All right, let's move on now to Hornbeam. And this particular card is about strength. Strength and magic, my friends. Don't underestimate either one of them within you. So it says, I am one of the forest's strongest trees. I can help you to withstand the pressures and the strains of life so that you grow from the experience and become more secure and confident. This is a good time for you to work on new ideas, especially ones relating to personal projects, and to cultivate your creative talents. This will lead to fresh opportunities, and your renewed enthusiasm will rekindle your passion for life. And I think that's absolutely beautiful, because this really is too. They show me these things to choose, the right paths on our frustrations. How do we work past them and move past them? And I think it's really focused on these kinds of situations, this movement towards, happiness and love. And when we're looking in this mirror, when we're seeing these reflections, we're looking at ourselves with a loving heart too. So that's the message I have for you, my friends. Don't underestimate your strength or your magic, my beauties. Mwah! I love you all, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.